Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Before the book even begins, we hear from someone powerful, Tony Robbins. In the foreword, Tony says something important. Most people don't fail because they don't have potential. They fail because they don't have the right habits. He talks about how the world is full of information. We all know what to do. But the real question is, do we do it every day without stopping? Tony explains that Darren Hardy is someone who doesn't just talk about success, he lives it. And this book, it's not theory. It's a step-by-step guide that shows how tiny actions, repeated daily, can completely transform your life. Tony's message is clear. If you want real change, read this book and follow what it says. Introduction. Darren starts the book with a big truth. There is no shortcut, no magic, no secret. Success comes from the compound effect, which means small, smart choices, done over and over, create big results. He gives an example. Let's say you choose between eating a donut or a salad. One time won't change your life. But if you eat a donut every day for a year, you'll feel it in your body, your energy, your health. The same goes for good habits. They look boring in the beginning, but they build your future quietly, slowly, and powerfully. Darren also says, you're already making small choices every day. The question is, are those choices helping you or hurting you? So the introduction is really a wake-up call, not to do something big, but to take control of the small things you do every day, because that's where success lives. Chapter 1. I want to talk about something simple but powerful. It's about success, not the kind of success we see in movies with big cars and millions of followers. I mean the real kind, the kind we build step by step. In Chapter 1 of The Compound Effect, Darren Hardy shares one big idea. Success comes from small, smart actions repeated every day. Let me say that again. Not big changes, not crazy talent, just small, smart steps every single day. He says it's like this. Imagine you do one tiny good thing every day, like reading 10 pages or drinking water instead of soda. At first, nothing seems to change. You don't feel different. You don't look different. But after 30 days, 60 days, 100 days, your life begins to shift. It's called the compound effect. It means small things grow, just like money in a savings account. Little choices today become big results tomorrow. Darren also says most people give up too early. They don't see results in the first week, so they quit. But winners, they keep going, even when it's boring. Even when they feel stuck, they trust the process. So what can we do? Start small. Pick one habit. Stick with it, not for one day, but for 90. This is not magic. This is the real winning formula. Chapter 2, Dash Choices. This chapter is a game changer because it reminds us of something powerful. You are always one choice away from a different life. Your life is the result of the choices you make, not once in a while, but every single day. Most people believe success or failure comes from one big event, a lucky break, a big mistake, or a life-changing decision. But Darren Hardy says that's not true. Success is not about the big moments. It's about the small, unnoticed choices that seem meaningless in the moment. But when repeated over time, they change everything. Example, let's say you eat a donut every morning. One donut won't hurt, two won't either. But over months and years, that tiny habit adds up and leads to weight gain, health problems, and low energy. Now imagine choosing a fruit instead. You won't feel much different tomorrow, but 6 months later, Your body, mood, and confidence will be completely transformed. That's the compound effect in action, the power of small choices. Every small decision you make either brings you closer to your goals or pulls you further away. The key is awareness. Most people make choices on autopilot. They don't even realize they're doing it. Scrolling social media, skipping workouts, spending impulsively. Hardy says we must take responsibility and make intentional decisions, no matter how small. Action steps. Darren suggests track your behaviors. Start writing down what you eat, how you spend money, where your time goes. It's eye-opening. Identify tiny habits. Look for the little things that are costing you long-term success. Change starts there. Make one better choice today. You don't need to change everything. Start small. One better choice, repeated daily, is enough. Final takeaway. You don't need to do anything huge to change your life. You just need to make better small choices and make them consistently over time. The compound effect is always working, either for you or against you. The good news, you get to choose. Chapter 3. Habits. In this episode, it's all about one of the most powerful forces in your life, your habits. If you've ever wondered why it's so hard to change your life, this chapter explains it clearly. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. Your habits control your life, your health, your money, your relationships, your success. Good habits quietly build you up over time. Bad habits slowly tear you down, often without you realizing it. Darren Hardy says, "You will never change your life until you change something you do daily." That something is your habits. How habits are formed. Habits are routines, behaviors you repeat until they become automatic. At first, they take effort, but eventually they happen without thinking. Example, you didn't always know how to drive a car. At first, it was stressful, but now, you do it almost unconsciously. That's the power of habit. Your brain loves habits, even bad ones. Your brain creates habits to save energy. That's why breaking a bad habit is hard. It's wired into your system. But the good news is, if you can create a habit, you can also replace it. Hardy's habit tips. Wrench. Start small. Don't try to change your whole life overnight. Focus on one habit. Be consistent. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about doing it daily. Use triggers. Tie your new habit to something you already do. Example, after brushing your teeth, do 10 push-ups. Track progress. Keep a journal or use a habit tracker to stay motivated. Be patient. Real change takes time. Give your habits space to grow. Your biggest challenge isn't that you've intentionally been making bad choices. Your biggest challenge is that you've been sleepwalking through your choices. Examples Darren gives. You don't get unhealthy from one meal. You get unhealthy from 10 years of poor food habits. You don't become rich by winning the lottery. You build wealth by saving a little bit consistently. So, small habits, done over time, make or break you. Final takeaway. Your habits shape your future. If you want to change your life, don't focus only on goals. Focus on your daily routines. Because success is not one big leap. It's the result of tiny steps done over and over again. Chapter 4, Momentum. In this episode, it's all about a powerful force that can either push you forward or pull you down. Momentum. Once you start building good habits and making better choices, something amazing happens. You build momentum. Think of momentum like a train. At first, it's slow and hard to move, but once it gains speed, it becomes unstoppable. Darren Hardy explains that momentum is your secret weapon. When you keep doing the right things, no matter how small, over time, those actions multiply and carry you forward with less effort. Why most people lose momentum? Most people get excited at the beginning. They set big goals, start strong, see some progress, but then they stop. They skip one workout, cheat on their diet, or overspend. And just like that, momentum dies. Consistency matters more than intensity. Don't stop. Keep going, even on days you don't feel like it. Hardy calls it the Big Mo, short for momentum. With momentum, you'll look up one day and be amazed at how far you've come. But remember, momentum takes time to build and only a moment to lose. That's why discipline is key. Examples: a person starts saving $5 per day. It feels small, but months later, they see progress and feel proud. That creates energy, and they keep saving more. Another person starts walking every morning. One day becomes 1 week, then a month. Their body changes, their energy improves, and they feel unstoppable. That's momentum in action. It's not getting started that's the hard part. It's keeping the momentum going once the excitement wears off. Stay consistent. Even when you don't feel like it, keep the habit alive. Celebrate small wins. Momentum grows when you acknowledge progress. Guard your routines. One skipped day seems harmless, but it can break your streak and stop momentum. Ride the wave. Once you're in the flow, double down. Take advantage of that energy. Final takeaway: momentum is real and it's powerful. The more consistent you are, the stronger it gets. And once you've got it, success starts to feel effortless. So don't stop. Keep going, even when it's boring, because that's how champions are made. Through momentum, not motivation. Chapter 5: Influences. We've talked about choices, habits, and momentum. And now, in Chapter 5, Darren Hardy brings us to something deeply powerful, yet often overlooked: influence. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's not just a quote, it's a life truth. Everything around you influences you: the people you hang out with, the media you consume, the books you read, even your social feed. All of it shapes your thoughts, beliefs, and eventually your actions. And your actions shape your results. If you want to change your life, you must change your environment, especially your influences. Types of influences. Darren talks about input, what you feed your mind. What are you listening to? Watching, reading? Junk in equals junk out. Positive input equals positive energy and action. Switch the negative news or gossip for uplifting podcasts, inspiring books, or motivational talks. Associations, your circle matters. Darren breaks it down into 3 types of relationships. Disassociations, people who drag you down. You may need to limit or let go of these connections. Limited associations, friends or family you still love, but you spend less time with. Expanded associations, find people who inspire you, mentors, achievers, dreamers, and spend more time with them. Environment. Even your physical space influences your energy. A messy, noisy space equals scattered thoughts. A calm, organized space equals focused energy. So clean your space. Build a vibe that matches your vision. Make your circle stronger than your excuses. Seek out people who are where you want to be and learn from them. If you hang out with 5 broke people, you'll be the 6th. Hang out with 5 healthy, driven, motivated people. You'll rise with them. Your associations don't shove you in a direction. They nudge you ever so slightly over time. And that's the compound effect in action. Audit your influences. Who do you spend time with? What do you listen to, read, and watch? Upgrade your input. Replace the negative with positive. Feed your brain like you feed your body. Be intentional about people. Create your board of advisors, even if they don't know it. Follow great thinkers, read their books, listen to their interviews. Final takeaway: you can't always control everything, but you can control what and who influences you. If you want better outcomes, surround yourself with better influences. Chapter 6: Acceleration. If you've made it this far, you've already taken huge steps toward personal growth. Now, in Chapter 6, Darren Hardy shows us how to accelerate, how to go from good to great, and from momentum to unstoppable success. Anyone can work hard when it's easy, but true winners, they show up when it's hard, when it hurts, and when most people quit. This chapter is all about pushing through the pain, because that's where the magic happens. Success loves extra effort. Darren says, the biggest difference between a champion and someone who's just good is that extra 5%, the part where most people quit. That extra push, one more rep, one more email, one more page, that's where you separate yourself from the crowd. It's not about being perfect. It's about doing a little bit more, especially when it's uncomfortable. Real growth happens under pressure. Just like a muscle grows after stress and recovery, your personal strength grows when you push past your comfort zone. The moment when you want to give up is the exact moment that determines your future. Most people slow down when it gets hard. High achievers, they accelerate. Example, imagine two runners. Both run 5 kilometers every day, but one of them adds just one extra sprint at the end, even when tired. It doesn't seem like much, but over time, that extra effort compounds and turns into greatness. Success is earned in the extra mile. That's the place most people never go. Pain is part of the process. If it's uncomfortable, you're growing. Don't coast. When things get easy, push harder. When you're tired, do just a little more. When you're tempted to quit, remember why you started. When you feel stuck, refocus and push again. Champions aren't made when the game is easy. They're made when no one is watching, and they still give 100%. When you hit the wall, it's not the end. It's the beginning of something greater. Final takeaway: acceleration is about powerfully pushing forward when others stop. That's where the compound effect reaches its peak. That's where the real transformation begins. You have the power, the choices, the habits, the momentum, the right influences. Push through, accelerate, become unstoppable. Final words: you've reached the end of this journey, but the real adventure begins now. The compound effect isn't just a book, it's a philosophy, a way of life. It teaches us that extraordinary success doesn't come from huge leaps, but from small, smart steps repeated every day. Here's what we've learned: your choices shape your destiny, your habits build your character, momentum makes success easier. Your environment and influences matter more than you think. And when life gets hard, accelerate instead of stopping. Success is not about luck. It's about discipline. It's not about being the best. It's about getting better every single day. Final quote from Darren Hardy: you will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.